I will say that it's very frustrating for me as the mayor to kind of be the one receiving all of these emails because I feel somewhat powerless to help you guys. But I did want to bring this up as a discussion because I know we had a meeting and Dr. Cole was there, Chief Baker was there, many of you were there towards the beginning of the school year to talk about tightening up our responses to these parties. Here we are in May, really almost at the end of the school year, and the parties have basically, if your comments to me are accurate, have pretty much continued relatively unabated. So I guess I'm kind of at wit's end. Like, I feel like we need to tighten up our response to these activities because I just feel like what we've been doing hasn't deterred these students from having fairly large, clearly pretty loud and disruptive parties.
It has been a constant source of its profanity, public urination, you know, all the things that are part of lots of people gathering together. I'm really disappointed, I guess, because it seems like everyone's trying to make Chestertown the place to be. And meanwhile, we have this group that is holding this town hostage. I know that's dramatic, but ultimately it is, because if I go into my backyard, I'm wondering, okay, what am I going to be encountering today? It just seems as though, you know, in all of our planning about making Chestertown the arts community and all this, it seems as though the people that have invested in this town and love this town are not giving more support through some type of ordinances, carrying them out. I mean, if the policemen feel powerless, then why are they feeling powerless? And I'm just really disappointed because I wanted to be able to have the life that all the people on Washington Avenue imagined when they came to this town. And I know that there's a whole group of us that would love to be able to achieve something that's done either through the courts, through better enforcement of ordinances, and just being able to inform us as to, well, what is the A, B, and C as to what we need to do.
The things that we usually need to adjudicate, and we have gotten some reports, and we have adjudicated some parties that we get reports on and citations on, and we're in close communication with Chief Baker's office. Jerry and he have a relationship. They talk every weekend, and share the information that they have. And we do adjudicate what we have, but we don't always have a ton of information. And we have, I think, done a bit more, particularly earlier in the fall when we had a spike in issues, and I think students were testing, you know, what we would do if there was a spike. And when we had that spike, what we did is that we sent public safety on site with Chestertown Police in order to try to get names, to get specific names. Our difficulty is that in order to adjudicate, we need to know who they are. But we don't have a whole lot of cooperation with landlords. I think there needs to be something stronger on the books about how to deal with the landlords. We try to manage the best we can the students that we have on campus. Managing the ones off campus, it gets more difficult.
And all of my comments and recommendations are what I've read by researching what other communities have done facing these problems. And if you go below, a step before the full-blown licensing program, which this town was actually going to do back in 2009, and it never got done, is a residential rental property registration program. That is where if somebody's renting out to students or whatever like that, they register, the landlords have to register that property with the town, and that registration can have various kinds of things in it, the minimum of which, they can't dictate what the lease is, but the minimum of which can be who is residing there.
About 2009, these things came to a head, and we drafted and passed the chronic nuisance property which directed at landlords who weren't responsive, and for multiple offenders, either in noise or alcohol or zoning problems or property in disrepair. It was a tool, and it anticipates that we have a rental program. Violation of this chapter as it relates to rental property may result in the property owner's rental housing license being removed or suspended and renewal being denied, blah, blah, blah. It also has fines for the individuals who, in these properties where there've been, I think it's 3. It doesn't take long, it sounds like that's a lot, but it doesn't take long if you are actually having these problems and the citations, the municipal citations are being done. So it's legal. At the time, we weren't sure that it is. And I think Liz is right about when, in a party situation where there's loud noise, the fine is $500. First one, second one's $1,000. So that's got a lot of teeth in it. It would scare me if I was having a party and somebody came up.
I've started looking into rental permits from other college towns, and I brought this up before at our budget meeting. A lot of, you can tell what goes on in the towns, the way that the towns have designed their rental permits, as far as fine tuning that the property owner has to appear in person to acquire the rental permit. And there are applications for each town that I looked at, and they were requesting the name, address, and phone number of a secondary residence, which would be a parent, on the application of each applicant in the residence.
But what I'd like to do moving forward is, I would suggest that after this school year is over, because we really only have 2 weeks left, you know, we should be vigilant on the police side and on the reporting side as residents in the next couple of weeks. I would like to set up another meeting with the residents, Dr. Cole, Chief Baker, Case and Bill, myself, and any of the council members that want to come. And I think as a council, we should probably examine rental registration ideas, ways that we can tighten this up so that we have more leverage over the absentee landlords that generally seem to be basically skirting this problem and getting away without a whole lot of consequences for renting their properties to delinquent groups.